Hello, everybody. Um, I'm a video game developer, and tonight I'm gonna play for the first time and discuss Dead Space 2023, the remake. Hello, everybody. Just setting up the stream at the moment. Everything seems to be working okay. Yeah, well, Dead Space is one of my favorite game series. It's one of the, it's one of the second or third generation survival horror kind of video game series. I'm saying kind of because it's more like an action survival horror. So the series has lots of puzzles, and it has lots of resource management, dynamics. But it's not really the focus of the game. The focus is mostly the action, so how you do in combat and how you can deal strategically with the enemies that are in front of you. And every enemy has like different mechanics, and it has different type of interactions. So some of the enemies, I'm talking from memory. I played the first three Dead Space in the series, the original one. I played the first one on Xbox. The second one, I played it on the Xbox Series X with the retro compatibility, and the third one I actually didn't finish it. That's a long story. But yeah, I played it as well on Xbox Series X with retro compatibility. But by the way, it's like a fantastic way to experience Xbox 360 games, the ones that are present at least, because it gives upscaling and a lot of feature like higher FPS sometimes, and depending on the game of course. But I don't know. I enjoyed my time a lot replaying Xbox 360 games on my Series X. So I suggest you guys to do the same. Well, so Dead Space again. I'm a big fan of the first two games. Let's say. The first game in particular, I was still like first year of university or something like that. Yeah, first year of university, and I didn't particularly like horror games, but I like how they made me feel in a particular situation. So I like that particular thrill that you get when you manage to overcome adversity, exploiting not just the environment, not just your limited resource pool, but also some like strategic tricks. So, for example, being able to, when you're overwhelmed by enemy, if you force them in a particular position, you can like manage to, take them out using your wits. Putting them in a straight line, for example, or I don't know, just pushing them out of out of the strategic area that they're in. And sometimes you can really dominate in the game, going a little bit outside of the realm of what the developer thought it was possible. But yeah, you can dominate easily by and exploit the game mechanics to the fullest to get like the best outcome possible and the best outcome possible. It basically provides you like an incredible amount of resources that you didn't use, of course, and in that precise moment, in that split second, you kind of feel like a powerhouse. You feel like you can take over the world, and despite being in the worst situation possible imaginable in the gaming in the gaming space. And yeah, that sensation of like being able to overcome that particular situation, that what just clicked with me with the first Dead Space. Now, the game had an extremely amount of like pros, if you want to call them that. The game had like fantastic visuals that still hold up. I didn't replay the first one in a little bit, but I of course watched like lots of YouTube videos about it, and it's still a game that, thanks to its visual style, and like those narrow corridors that marry themselves perfectly with the technical capability of older generation console. The amount of detail that they could squeeze out from the old console, keeping the environment, small, and the art direction were simply incredible. Now, the art direction is something that the first Dead Space completely nailed it. I'm not saying that the art is beautiful. Is the opposite. Is unsettling. Is disturbing in it contains some of the most horrific depiction of body mutilations that you can find. But the point is that it helps putting you, the player, in that specific situation that is the most undesirable situation that you want to be, in the most isolated environment that you can possibly find yourself in, that is like the deep space. And that is that is great. That is the starting point of like an amazing experience. It's definitely one of the most atmospheric game that I ever played recently, and and it came out from a studio that, if I remember correctly, they didn't have like particularly big names under the belt, but everything, with the first Dead Space, everything just clicked. And without even talking about the fantastic stuff like the lore, the hard sci-fi concepts that are in the game. Anyways, having said so, we're going to play the Dead Space remake. So this game released in early 2023, so earlier this year. We're going to play it on PC. I'm going to play it for the first time. Now, I never played this game. So, yeah, let me see if the screen shows correctly. Ooh, maybe not. Anyways, I'll set up the stream. I'll set up the stream as we go. So if there's something wrong with the stream, I'll fix it. I'll try to fix it at least. But yeah, we can see that the game is building shaders. This is something that PC games usually do. Why is it building shader? Basically, shaders are small programs that execute on the GPU. So it's basically, they are small pieces of code that are just meant to be used on the GPU. Why on PC there's all this stuff about compiling shaders? Because differently from consoles, PCs have an incredible amount of different configurations. Coming from the starting from the screen resolution to the graphical settings, and those configuration, they trickle down to different code being used on the GPU. Now, these little programs, they talk to each other a lot, or they're part of like a larger ecosystem of programs that interacts with variables, numbers, and stuff like this. So if some of the changes, if some of the programs like needed change to match a specific video settings, what it means is that all the programs need to be recompiled. that basically is the process of taking source code and making it into binary code that can be executed by the GPU hardware. All right, so why do we need to, why can't those developers do them themselves, right? Why do we have to compile the shaders? Well, the fact is that given the huge amount of number of different configurations that you can set in the game, that basically boils down to, for example, having texture set to medium but reflections to high, or shadows to low, and a resolution of 1080p, for example, right? All these different type of configuration, they define a particular profile, and that profile has its own needs its own shaders to be compiled in a certain way. So instead of compiling, an exponential number of, like, it's not kind of exponential, it's more like a power of type of curve in the number of different configurations and the number of different shaders. What happens is that the developer just leave you with the task to build the shaders yourselves, and that simplify how the game is shipped. It simplify having less type of different it shrinks down the game size as well, the installation size, and it allows you to have like the configuration that you want, that you need, without causing issue to other people that they might not need the configuration. Long preamble, but yeah, that is the thing. Now, in the games that I worked in the past, some of the games had like a very long shader compile time. In this case, it wasn't too bad. I mean, I'm playing it on a quite a powerful PC. It has a 470, an NVIDIA, RTX 470, and one of the latest AMD processors with like 16 cores and stuff like this. So it's pretty powerful. So the shader compilation wasn't that bad. Now, the first thing that we see here is that the UI was like a big part in the first Dead Space. Now we see that they took the same style of having a UI that is merged with the game. In this case, this UI seems to be 3D-ish. We don't know, because it's the first time that I run the game. But yeah, okay, audio narration, perfect. Voice language, subtitles. I usually put subtitles on because sometimes I just play a game and listen to podcasts. So I turn down the music, the volume, and I need to know what I need to go next. So let's turn them on anyways. Difficulty, we're going with medium. So the fact is that the default difficulty, in my opinion, should be the difficulty that the developer expects you to enjoy the game. So it should be the difficulty that the whole game is tailored around. It doesn't mean that it's a difficulty for noobs. It means that the game, the developers are comfortable to make you experience the game with this level of challenge, and the difficulty goes also into how many items you have, how many help you need, hints or whatever during the game. So yeah, I usually trust the developer to put me in a position where I can experience the game as they want it, using the default difficulty settings. Now, some game, sometimes, in certain situations, they are enjoyed best the first time with a higher difficulty setting. Some may have the argument that survival horror is one of those type of games. Oops. Let me see if during are enjoyed best the first. Okay. So sorry about this. We're gonna set out. I just noticed that the stream is is not you know, the video is not aligned perfectly. So in any case, I'm gonna sort it out. Yeah, so this was a longer ramble on the fact that yeah, I mean, with the first time that you play a game, I usually trust the developer to make the correct choice and suggest me the best difficulty settings. I made the mistake once to play Call of Duty World at War when basically it came out on the Xbox 360, and you know, I am a huge fan of realistic FPS, so I said, well, let's put the difficulty to veteran because I want like the true experience. And the game was simply not built with the veteran difficulty in mind. I found myself not enjoying it as much because some of the scenarios were simply not built with that difficulty in mind. This means that there was no margin of error, and you really had to exploit the game almost like bugs, or like the game, you know, collision boxes in order to have the right cover to see the perfect pixel. And that is basically the opposite that I wanted. So I wanted like a more immersive experience, World War II type of experience, and I ended up having a almost like, you know, collision hunting experience, and or like you know, collision debugging experience. So that put me off. So from that moment on, I always choose the like default difficulty, and then if I really enjoy the game, I'm gonna replay it again at a higher difficulty to see, you know, what changes, and if at that point I can find it more enjoyable. Alright, so let me go through this. So I'm trying to set it as a borderless to see. Yeah, this seems to fix the issue with the stream. Alright, so why is okay. Alright, so why is the resolution, why am I not being able to change it? I don't know. I mean, in theory there's no difference between oh wow, I'm not able to change the resolution. Okay, well, now the problem starts. So this is user experience 101. Oh, now I can change the resolution, but I cannot change it. I can change it in full screen. Okay, this is interesting. I have 3 monitors. I have a 4K resolution. Oh, you see, this is not very PC friendly. Let's say that I want to have it borderless, right? Whoop. And this. Okay, well, we are experiencing some technical issues that are not my fault, and this is like a you know, user experience issue. So let's say that I want to have it borderless. I want to have it on monitor 1, that I actually don't know which one it is. Let me see, display settings. So I want it basically on monitor 2, if I am understanding this stuff correctly. And let's go. So what happens here is that it's completely out of focus. Actually, I think it's trying to put it somewhere off screen. Yeah, this is like horrible stuff for like a PC player. And if I set it to window mode, of course I cannot choose the screen, and that makes sense because it's a window, it's floating around. But I cannot change the resolution, and that is kind of pissing me off. So, well, let's put it full screen. Monitor 2, and it's gonna have a 4K resolution, 60 Hz display refresh rate, and it goes to the different screen. Alright. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do full screen, monitor 1, 4K, and apply. Okay, so far, little bit of issues with the PC graphics setting. That is kind of like a difficult thing, you know, get correctly, but also such a basic thing, and probably the first thing that the player is gonna go through. So so yeah, I mean, you really need to do it correctly. I mean, in the game in the past that I worked on, this was like a very difficult thing to get correctly, also because all the other parts of the game are not the other parts of the game, but the most important, the rendering, let's say, the display of any type of information just depends on this. So you need to make sure that all the system, when you change one of the basic settings, are like rebooted correctly, they're releasing memory correctly, and they're restarting correctly. And since like everything else is based on this can be quite a tricky thing to do, especially with the UIs that live in the game itself. So there's no distinction between UI and game; they're the same executable. So yeah, I mean, if you had something that like, I don't know, Battlefield that has his own Battlefield 3 that has only web page basically that allows you to launch games, the Korean game, that in that point you could just set the setting in that web page and launch them in game, and with the settings that don't go well, you change it from the web page and blah blah blah. But this is a tricky thing to get on, and it's not really doing what I wanted to do, because I wanted a window borderless. Now the thing to know is that with the borderless thing is that it's basically the same as a window in terms of performance, and in terms of how the OS sees the application. The only difference is that is a special type of window where basically it doesn't have any decoration. But yeah, in theory, the OS gives more performance to the application when it is run in full screen. The second thing that I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to use a gamepad because of tradition. Because I played the first one on the Xbox, and I had an Xbox controller, so I want to play this one again with an Xbox controller. Now, the game is not detecting the gamepad. It could be me. It could be complete user error. Oh yeah, it was user error. So my cable wasn't working correctly, the cable that I had attached. So anyways, these are the troubles that PC gamers go through every single time when they launch a game, and it seems that there's no real solution to this. So let's go to colorblind mode. This is a nice thing for having a little bit more accessibilities to different players. Dynamic resolution scale. I would turn it on. And the simple reason is that I prioritize performance. I have 470. Should be able to run this game completely well at 4K, but in order to avoid sporadic drops in frame rate at usually the most inopportune moments, I'm gonna keep this on. All right, so all right, again this went off because I'm using full screen. I just want to manage the stream. If I can, let me see. Okay. Oh yeah, I can turn on the analytics. All right. Okay. So what we're doing is that we jump back in the game. and we go through some settings that might have performance. Oh, it's cool. It defaults to the DLSS for anti-aliasing. This is like AI powered anti-aliasing system. I will just set this to ultra. Let's see. Let's just set it to ultra. See what happens. The ambient occlusion. Ray traced AL. That's cool. So the ambient occlusion has also a ray traced option. That could be nice to experiment. I will experiment with that later. They don't set it as default, of course, because maybe... Oops. What's going on with the stream? This is weird. They don't set it as default because people might not have a ray trace capable graphic card. But yeah, it's I'll try with that later. All right. So yeah, this is interesting. User agreement, third-party licenses. Well, what does it use? It open SSL. All right. I don't remember what. Yeah. Open SSL. Okay, yeah, it's like netcode. Okay, it's it's interesting sometimes to check what the game are using. libpng is one of the most used C++ libraries. Basically, what it does, allows you to open PNG file. Yeah, I mean, it's like a very small library, and it's used everywhere. Last time that I saw it was in Final Fantasy 15, if I remember correctly. libjpeg is the same. From what I understand, they're using a custom version. I mean, they're using the Frostbite engine that has been apparently modified a lot in order to run this game. It's a custom engine, it's written in C++, and this is why you see a lot of like standard C++ library like zlib. I don't know what hrtf is. Sometimes I don't know. FreeType is like font. It's again like a small library used everywhere. Agent is something like mathematical stuff. I don't remember correctly. Like, yeah, I don't remember. I don't want to say anything particularly wrong. But yeah, those are like small library used everywhere. It's funny because sometimes you write like, no matter how small it is, but you write like a good piece of code, and you make it open source, and everybody is gonna be using it. What is Google stuff? For use of breakpad. Okay. They copy and pasted the whole thing. I'm not sure if you need to create a distribution using source and binary forms with or without modifications. Okay, well, this is what the license asks. Alright, well, this is all interesting stuff, but quite boring. It's usually, it's nice to see, what tools are used. It gives like a clue on the development, stuff like this. Alright, so it's time to start the game. And I think it starts directly, but it's quite cool. Primary mission assets, Isaac Clarke. Alright, okay, I know what they're doing. So this is...
Isaac, it's me.
Yeah,
I wish I could talk to you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about everything. I just wish I could talk to someone.
This is probably a random target. Yeah, it's
falling
directly
apart
here.
here. I can't believe what's happening.
So you can see probably that's like a pre-render video.
Such a little thing.
Displayed on the UI, and of course the UI is completely.
Yeah, first I've heard from her in weeks.
In game.
We're 5 minutes out. You still got that thing on repeat? Guess you really miss her.
Ishimura is not a job you turn down, but 6 months apart with only vid calls? It's rough. Easy to say the wrong thing.
I don't blame you. I'd listen to my girlfriend over Hammond reciting security protocols.
Forewarned is forearmed, Miss Davis.
So the first time that I played this Space 1,
nice clean re.
It didn't took the subtitle setting. Where was it? So there's this thing that you never know where the subtitle option is. It could be in audio. No, it could be in language and subtitles. It's probably in language and subtitles. Yeah. Okay, so the first time that I played the first Dead Space, in this basically cutscene here.
Imagine 6 months staring at that chunk of rock.
To look at Isaac.
An independent miner.
Was supposed
That's
to be,
paradise.
this
Aegis 7 is one of the richest finds in
and I thought I was a
history.
genius because I saw it.
Some prospecting team set up for life.
Well, I don't know if like
Where
anybody
is
else
she?
tried to do that. Probably everybody did. But now
There.
he has like a
Confirming
nice
visual
face.
contact with USG
Complete
Ishimura.
animated
What a beauty.
model face. The first
Biggest
piece
planet
was
cracker in her
also
class.
quite-
And it looks like they already popped the cork.
It was quite
Why is it so dark? We should be able to see her running lights.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
Let's say.
I'll get us into hailing
Right,
range.
so my
Someone's got to be
weapons
waiting up
stopped
for us.
working.
Just be careful on the approach. I'm not taking any chances with CEC's
And
private
I don't know why. Let's see.
No chances, huh? Is that why you were digging into my personnel files before we left?
You check your file access.
Computer analyst. Comes with the job.
I ran standard CEC background checks, Miss Daniels. If you want to work in the big leagues, you have to play ball.
Sir, we're in hailing range. USG Ishimura. This is the emergency maintenance team of the USG Kelly, responding to your distress call. Come in, Ishimura. Ishimura, do you copy? Come in. This is the USG Kelly.
You ever hear of a full communications blackout on one of these things?
Never. Come on. Someone pick up the damn phone.
What the hell is that?
Sounds like their communication array is busted. Maybe a broken encoder. Daniels and I can handle it in 48 hours, max.
Hey, that gives you plenty of time to catch up with Nicole.
Isaac
Yeah.
knows.
I hope so.
Jen, Johnson, take us in.
Gravity setters engaged. Automated docking. Let's go.
Losing control.
We're off course! Daniel!
Guidance system override isn't responding.
Shit! Coming in too hot. It's gonna smash us into the hull. Chen! Aim for that emergency stabilizer! There! The blue light! It might slow us down! Got it. Drop the flash shield. Everyone brace
Figured out what is not working here. So my camera just died. Let me try to re-add it. Video capture device, yep. And here's me. Okay. This goes back here, and it's gonna have a transform applied, and we're gonna crop 600 pixel to the left. We're gonna crop again 400 pixel, nope, 400 pixel to the right, and here I am. Let's just center myself. Whoop. Transform, edit, transform. Let's just center myself with the use of the software thing. All right. Well, I think we're back, and we're back into the game. So, yeah.
Everyone okay?
I'm good.
I'll live. Johnston, you alright?
It's my ankle.
It's
broken.
The 3D
Shit.
model of
But better than a
the
broken
suit
neck.
is
Or worse.
gorgeous.
Good call on the stabilizer, Isaac.
Gotta always read the manual.
What the fuck's going on with flight control? That
Oh,
guidance
yeah, the
system's a
personality,
death
yeah.
trap.
Better add it to your repair list. Jen, what's our damage?
Comps are down. We lost a port booster. We got a fire in one of the stabilizers and... Singularity core's a mess.
Sorry, it's very, very warm.
Could be
here.
worse, but not by much.
And let's get some help.
Yeah,
Johnston,
the
stay with the
details
Kelly.
on-
We'll send a
on
medic.
his-
Everyone
on
else,
his suit
with
is
me.
Crazy good. The materials are looking good. I mean, I'm saying that because I was, you know, used to the old suit. So I think comparison to this one was quite basic. I like how it has like, you know, leather patches that are, you know, very well made. Okay, so where are we? A little bit less well made.
Forget something?
How's the ankle?
This glass texture
like
that are a
hell.
little bit low
I've had
resolution.
worse.
You notice?
You go on. I'll get it strapped up.
I'm sure this is the only place that they're using it. So yeah, I mean, let me check the settings. Everything should be set to ultra. Yep. So yeah, I mean, this this very nitpicky stuff, and of course they couldn't go probably any higher. But
I got this, Isaac.
yeah,
Go get
if you
help.
see,
hold
it's
the fort.
basically a normal map applied to the glass mesh, and as you can see, there's on the right. So exactly where Isaac is looking at. The mesh is not perfectly, probably it's because it's damaged, but yeah, I mean, those are the
I've got
things
this,
that
Isaac.
usually developers
You go
don't
get help.
expect you to look
I'll
at.
hold the fort.
They expect you to go to the game just like it's.
Stay clear.
Crap, he came down hard.
Oh my god, this UI. So, if any, to be honest, I usually don't read anything in the game. I'm one of the guys that, you know, thinks that you need to show and don't tell. I mean, what I'm saying. I'm one of those guys that says that if your story is important, you need to communicate it to the player with other mediums than reading. Because if I wanted to read, I would read the book. So this is interesting. Look, this effect here. It's okay. So let's see how if they did it correctly. So this is probably some oil. So this is liquid that is floating down. Okay. So the interesting thing is that it reacts with Isaac's suit. As you can see, there are splashes, but oh yeah, there are splashes, and the splashes exactly stop when they are in contact. Now, it's not perfect; it's not very precise, because as you can see, there's some penetration of the splashes. Still, it's nice to see that they took into consideration this. I mean. Of course, if you're putting an effect like that, okay, in the first area of the game, in a place where the player most likely is supposed to interact, you need to take that into consideration. And yeah, they kind of did. It's not perfect, but yeah, it's nice. Fluid simulation is one of the hardest things to do in real time in a video game. So, you know, I respect for trying. Of course. I'm gonna be extremely nitpicky about everything, but it's because, you know, I know the work that goes into this stuff, and I like to see how much did they push the amount of work. Of course, I prefer like a fun game over a game where, you know, people focused on the most stupid things for the longer amount of time. Now, if we go here, we see one of the first things that is screen space reflection, and one of the limitations of screen space reflection. So, as you can see here, basically screen space reflection is an effect where we simulate the reflectivity of a surface, getting the information of the surrounding from a screen space image. So basically, what we're doing is that if a material is supposed to reflect light, we calculate the reflection as it is in real life. So basically, if the light comes in a certain way and blah blah, we calculate the vector that goes off in the direction. The problem is, where do you get the information of light, of the ray of light? Basically, where do you get the information of the color of the light, of what objects are are displayed in that particular position? And there are different different theories, different solutions for this, but they're all like super expensive. One of the cheapest one is screen space reflections. It basically takes the information of the light that needs to be reflected in that particular pixel from the image itself. So basically we have one frame today, and we are getting that information from the previous frame. Now this creates artifacts, and one of them is exactly this. So if you can see the right arm of Isaac, basically it looks like it casts a black shadow. What that is actually the reflection information that is not present, because in the previous frame Isaac was in the middle of the screen, and therefore was occluding the information that was shown. Now you can see it also between Isaac's right arm and his basically hip. The same thing happens, and you can also see when I'm looking down. This is because the information that is in this case that USG Ishimura big text is not present when I look down. So we miss that information. That information is not present, therefore is not present. And this creates like a lot of quite big artifacts that the first time you might not notice. But then it's something that once you notice, once you know what's going on, you cannot unsee it. In order to avoid this, we should look into one of the biggest innovation of the last generation, that is ray tracing. Reflection of what? Okay. All right. So there's no ray trace reflection. There's ambient occlusion. All right. So basically, there's no solution to this. And yeah, this is part of the game. Let's go forward. The fact is that it's really looking. I don't know. It's. I would have preferred to not have reflection on these surfaces. Given it's the first part of the game, because you always have this weapon when we're developing a game, is that, do I really need it? So why don't the surfaces where all the players are going to walk into would be non-reflective? What if they were dirty?
At least we didn't take out the sign.
And therefore they're playing the cost with the visual artifacts that all the players are going to see. And it is one of the choices in game development. Sure, this has been raised a lot.
Let's get this done, Isaac.
In bug reports and whatever. But this is one of the things that, you know, game developers, you know, go to make compromises. So they say that, you know, because of the structural, you know, design of the ship, that needed to be metal, and they went with metal.
Isaac, come sink your rig.
And that's what it is. It is what it is. Alright, so what are we doing here? Is she working? Yes, she is. In any case, apart from, you know, those things that I'm gonna point out, the game looks gorgeous, and it's beautiful.
Synced. Collect kinesis and stasis modules from Acting Chief Engineer Jacob Temple. Location?
I just like to talk about the
Error. Employee not found.
because, you know, the
I can't read
the solution might
Same
be,
for the chief
you know,
engineer. What is
something
wrong
in
with
the
their
line
cause?
of, well, let's change the material, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, I respect also the consistency that they show in order to have exactly the materials that they need. Yeah, anyway. This is another example of the UI game. That is quite... I really like this volumetric smoke effect.
Someone left in a hurry.
Yeah, it's nice. Very nice. It's very atmospheric.
Where's the security detail?
I need
Where's
to remember
anybody?
to collect everything.
There's nothing logged. No duty roster, no power to the elevator.
For God's sake. That security console's still working. Isaac, get a damage report. I'm done playing around.
Does anyone...
Sorry, kids. Do-do-do. Yeah, I got a cat alarm. So again,
Oh, smell that?
great
Oh,
stuff.
what?
Like something
The
guiding
lore
the air
is
vents.
also incredible. All right. Let's just go through the game a little bit, and I'll
Can you reroute power to the
talk
elevator?
later.
If I can figure out why it's down.
Something on the floor here. Seth?
Isaac, I need that damage report.
Yeah, the level of details of the mesh. I didn't know that.
God, that
But
smell.
that's fine.
What have you
Look
got?
at the stack of paper over there.
Shit. It's not just comms or the guidance system. Half the Ishimura's in the red. Engines, hull, the trams.
Could do that kind of damage to a planet cracker.
Okay, got us some power. Ventilation's up. Power to the elevator shaft.
Hazardous anomaly detected. Quarantine activated.
Another malfunction?
No. The quarantine systems are all fine.
Oh, wait. Do you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah, I hear it.
Yeah, man?
Take it easy. Daniel, get those elevators running.
There's something in here with us.
Daniel, get the doors open! Hands up, the doors!
I'm here. Yeah, I mean the look at the blood on Isaac's suit. Look at the level of fidelity. Look at the single drops of blood that show up on his visor. It's great work. And it goes away. Yeah, I mean it's great. The body completely disappeared. It disintegrated after the blast. But look, there's probably some drops of blood and keep on going. This is like great attention to detail. And yeah, I was talking about the details of the meshes. They probably have 3 or 4 sets of meshes. They have like the high definition stuff that probably goes on the wall. Yeah, for example, you know, it goes into the environment, like big stuff. Okay, I think I should be able to smash this. I should be able to smash this. No? Alright. Oh, nice. Of course, it's an engineer. He builds stuff. I mean, they have like probably 4 sets of objects, like the very big one, medium, small, and as you can see in the small one, the level of detail of this is not made very well. What did I say before? So some stack of paper, stuff like this. Probably that goes into the micro category. Here we go. Now I can smash. The micro mesh, the very small meshes are very low poly, but that's fine. Oh, I can punch and foot stomp. That's gonna be useful. Oh, here we go. So one of the things that the original Dead Space did was every basically laser point was a raycast, so you could see like a different position. And I think in Dead Space 2 was a setting. I think. Maybe it's in the control. No, I don't know. I thought it was an option to do it like in real world stuff. That was cool. Nice body dismemberment and stuff. It wasn't so lucky. Oh, look. There is an error while rendering. Oh. There's an error while rendering the hair. Yeah. The hair mesh is transparent. Yeah, it's not made very well, but yeah. Nitpicky stuff. Oh, this environment is great. Look at the lighting. This goes down here. Awesome, so... Ooh. So they're tempting me with an object in here. Whoa. That, that was very good. I didn't expect it to be there. I was expecting something to happen. Not like this. This is very well made.
Security request retrieved.
It didn't die. We shot that fucker right between the eyes and it didn't die. Smith had to shoot its fucking arms and legs off. For God's sake, send help!
What is the fractal physics? That is good.
Isaac. Oh my god, Isaac. You made it.
Just... they're everywhere. Jim, is he,
He's gone. Nothing I can do. What the fuck are these things?
the ones I saw? Some of them were wearing Ishimura uniforms.
They're the crew? How the hell can they be the crew? Look at them.
We need to get to the bridge. There's 1,000 people on board. Someone will be there.
We can't. The tram system's wrecked. Everything's locked down because of the quarantine.
And you're both repair techs. So how do we do this?
Oh, they're there. Oops.
There's a broken tram car blocking the tunnel. It's gridlocked the
These are
system.
a bit weird.
And the
That's
data
right.
board's burned out. I can't lift the lockdown or call the tram until we get a spare from the maintenance bay. But it's all on Isaac's side of the quarantine.
I'll handle it. Just make sure there's power to the repair systems.
And Isaac,
Yeah?
I'm sure Nicole's okay. She's the doctor, right? She'll do the smart thing.
Yeah. Yeah, she always does. Find somewhere safe. I'll be back soon.
Alright, so not the best situation here. Then that we didn't see anything. So again, the lighting is fantastic. We were already being able to do like a good job on the Xbox 360, but here is another level. The small environment helped a lot. You know, especially with having control on the number of objects that light can interact with, and you know, the number of light itself. So again, look, the detail on the meshes. They are probably like quite low poly, but look, it has like, you know, the tag, the clear tag and stuff. It's great. The level of attention to detail is always. Ooh, so alright, we saw a crazy guy passing by here, and one of the things that I won't trust you. So one of the things that I love about horror games, compared to horror movies, is that you have this decisional power, so you can decide not to trust a certain situation and not be, you know, caught off guard. It's great. So there was a friend, no, that was alien isolation. Good old save points. Completely useless by modern standards, but it helped create a sense of like danger.
Isaac, don't bother shooting those fuckers in the head. Doesn't even slow them down.
Okay. The only way is hacking them.
Can
Those arms, their legs.
Did that even kill them? Or did they just stop moving?
Alright, so yeah, I read on a review of this game, the remake specifically, where they say that they play a lot the trick of having an enemy in front of you, and then spawning an enemy behind you on your toes. This is something that happened in some places in the original one, especially one place that I remember it was great because I kind of figured it out before it was happening the first time that I was playing it, and those little moments, are, you know, making you feel so much in control of the situation, despite being, you know, literally the worst situation possible. Here we go. Environment here, and people behind you. Nothing. Alright. Thank God for all those, you know, explosive barrels that are just the best. Alright. See, they replay the same trick. They replay the same trick of, you know, I was moving forward and there's somebody behind me. That is good once or twice, but it kind of may result cheap if done in the long run. Alright, so what we're going to do here is moving forward slowly. And consider such a beautiful atmosphere. I mean, the level of details, and you feel like everything has a story. Like how this, for example, how this was cut. It feels like it has a purpose, you know? Well, it might not. The shape is a little bit different, a little bit weird, but it has that modular aspect. Oh, look, there's damage in here. See, like, oh, there's damage in here as well. So, see, they are duplicating the same asset here and here. Still, it gives, like, you know, if you're not like, actually nitpicking, it gives like a nice level of, you know, detail. It's so unwelcoming, yet so fascinating. Alright, so there are too many red barrels here, so I'm expecting to be jumped again. Quite soon. So no power, let's go this way. And it makes, you know, it's so good at making you feel like so small. And that's such a disadvantage. always checking behind me. So I need probably the elevators. I don't need the lights. I need the elevators and the main person. I'll go back. Those noises, man. Yeah, I mean, beautiful atmosphere, and also, you know, it's like you are causing this to yourself, not just as a player, but also as Isaac. You put yourself in this like horrible situation. Alright, man. All good. I have to say, performance-wise...
Isaac, we can't stay here much longer. Hearing a lot of movement.
I'm halfway done. Found a data board. Just gotta move the tram.
Okay, Daniels, watch that door.
I'm also playing it, like, 6 months after release. The biggest debate, do I have to fix my suit, or so do I, put points on defense or attack? Defense or attack. And the fact is that when Kane broadly started to implement RPG mechanic, You could find this everywhere. I always went for attack. That sometimes make the game feel a little bit less enjoyable. What? To joy is to survive. Join that, I guess. I think we're all good. So maintenance board. I think that's something. Anyway. Three, two, one. Okay. Well, yeah, that was quite good. Also because they throw at you the weaker enemy first. So you tend to use the explosive barrel to kill the weaker enemy, and then the big guy comes out of nowhere. Yeah, that's a good trick to make you feel nervous. Because now you have to face a big guy, right? So I love how in a horror movie, you know, in that case, that is gonna revive, right? But you cannot do anything. You have to wait for the stupid main character to pass by. Get attacked. In a game, you have control of it. You can decide to possibly waste some ammunition in order to be more protected. And that is great. Take a break. Yep, sorry, I'm back. Sorry for the wait. So, we are keep on playing Dead Space Remake. I'm a game developer, and I'm doing a little bit of analysis on the game. This is like just a stream, and I'll be, you know, nitpicking everything about the game, and possibly, you know, doing like an essay on this game while I'm playing it for the first time. All right, so we're in this fantastic situation as Isaac Clarke, and we are basically trapped in this beautifully rendered and beautifully designed ship, the Ishimura. Now, as you can see, this. Ooh, look at that. I thought it was like a space polygon. But I mean, this is so like a modular type of creation. You can see it from here, like this scratch here on this particular asset can be seen replicated in here. We saw it also on the lower floor, the same thing. So the developers here have like a modular approach to building the ship, and that is basically what it's, you know, what developers have been using for the last, I don't know, hundreds of years of game development. Sometimes that creates a little bit of like consistency issue, but nothing too bad. Again, the atmosphere of this game, that the beautifully designed environments create, is just fantastic. And yeah, so far, I mean, I can really fault anything except for like very nitpicky stuff like, again, what is this? Oh, this is like a... Huh. Seems to be a Z fighting issue. Probably there are like two plates that are fighting with each other. I don't know. Not too sure about it. It's particularly evident because when you go from eye level to looking down, it's okay. I know what's going on. So probably we have a plane that is being added on top of this surface in order to add details with these scratches, and when you see it from this place, it looks flat. When you see it from above, you see it like applied correctly to the mesh. Yeah, this is again modular design. We're adding detail to already existing meshes in order to be able to reuse them more often without the player having the feeling of deja vu. So yeah, could have be done differently. Yeah, but still great looking game. Okay, so this room here is just like a loading room. It's nice that they put something to do in this loading room. In the details, being able to see it behaves like a decompression. And sorry guys, I have to do this now. I will keep on going with these streams and the full video in a while when I'm done. Okay, sorry about it.